Something just happened inside that ring that the WWE Universe may never fully recover from. And I don't mean that lightly. What went down on SmackDown on April 24th, 2026 in Fort Worth, Texas, wasn't just a match. It wasn't just a segment. It was the moment the entire Bloodline story cracked open from the inside, and everything we thought we knew about that family's power structure got buried under the wreckage. If you've been following this story for years, if you've watched Roman Reigns build his empire, if you've watched Solo Sikoa try to hold the pieces together after that empire cracked, then what happened on Friday night just changed the game permanently. Don't go anywhere. This is the one you've been waiting for. Let's set the stage. Coming off WrestleMania 42, the tension inside the Bloodline was already at a boiling point. Jacob Fatu had done the unthinkable on Raw. He looked straight into the camera and called out Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. Not as a soldier, not as a loyal cousin. As a man who was done waiting, done being overlooked, and done being told he wasn't ready. That one moment set off a chain reaction that nobody was ready for. And SmackDown was where it all exploded. The show opened and Jacob Fatu was already in that ring, fired up, talking about his destiny. Then out came the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. And right away you could feel the tension. Jimmy tried to play the big brother role, telling Fatu to fall in line, to run the play, to learn behind Roman before stepping up. You could hear the discomfort in his voice. Jimmy knew what Fatu was becoming. Jay, on the other hand, was different. Jay didn't try to stop him. Jay looked him in the eye and said, "It's too late for all that. You already stepped up. You opened your mouth. You're in the deep end now. Let's see if you can swim." That right there was the Usos giving two completely different answers to the same question. And that alone should have told us everything about where this family is headed. Then the music hit. Solo Sikoa walked out with the MFTs, Tama Tonga and JC Mateo by his side, looking smug, looking confident. And Solo started talking. He reminded Fatu that he was the one who brought him into WWE. He claimed ownership of Fatu's entire rise. He told him he'd need backup to beat Roman. That without the MFT machine behind him, Fatu was nothing. And then Tama Tonga did something that sealed his fate for the rest of the night. He snatched the microphone right out of Jacob Fatu's hand and called him a lost cause. That was the last mistake he ever should have made. Fatu superkicked Tonga right there on the spot. And just like that, the match was made. Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa, one more time, right here, right now, in the main event of SmackDown. Now here's what you have to understand. Solo Sikoa had been carrying wins over Jacob Fatu in this feud. He'd been using that as his evidence, his proof that Fatu couldn't step to the big dogs without his help. That narrative had weight. But narratives, as we all know, can be rewritten in a single night. The match itself was nothing short of a war. These two men did not shake hands. They did not feel each other out. The second that bell rang, it was raw aggression. Fatu unloaded headbutts like a man possessed. Solo tried to slow things down, tried to ground him, tried to work the numbers game by having the MFTs lurk at ringside. And they did get involved.
JC Mateo grabbed a leg, Tonga Loa distracted the referee, and suddenly you could feel the match slipping. Meanwhile, the Usos stood on the ramp, not helping, just watching, like two men who didn't know which side of history they wanted to be on. Back from the break, Solo was in control, talking trash, celebrating too early. You know how that story ends. Solo went for the spinning solo, 2 count. Went for the splash, not enough. Went back to the Samoan spike, and Fatu saw it coming. He ducked it. Super kick, pop-up Samoan drop, and then the exclamation point. The best moonsault ever, right in the center of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Jacob Fatu pinned Solo Sikoa clean in the middle of the ring. The Bloodline hierarchy shattered. But Fatu wasn't done. The MFTs rushed the ring with chairs, thinking they could finish what Solo couldn't, and somehow that just made Fatu angrier. He fought all 3 of them off like they were nothing. He wedged chairs around the ring posts, launched himself with hip attacks that nearly took heads off, and then he found Tonga Loa, lifted him up, and drove him straight through the announce table with a thunderous splash. The crowd in Fort Worth lost their minds. And then came the moment that gave everyone chills. The Usos finally made their way to the ring. Slowly, cautiously, Fatu stood there in the middle of the chaos, surrounded by bodies, and he stared at Jimmy and Jay. Not as enemies, but not as allies either. He looked at both of them, two men he grew up around, two men who are blood, and he made one thing crystal clear. This isn't over. Not even close. He told them to go back to Raw and tell Roman Reigns that he's coming, that he'll see all three of them on Monday. That moment right there was the line in the sand. Jacob Fatu is no longer on the outside looking in. He is the story now. He is the man standing at the center of the most dangerous family feud in WWE history. And he just proved beyond any shadow of a doubt that he doesn't need anyone's permission, backup, or blessing to take what he believes is rightfully his. Think about what this means going forward. Solo Sikoa is done. The MFT faction is crumbling. They've now lost the tag titles and suffered a humiliating beatdown from one man. The Usos are caught in the middle, loyal to a tribal chief who they know will never treat them as equals, yet witnessing a cousin who is ascending in real time. And Roman Reigns, the world heavyweight champion, now has to look at a man coming for him who hits like a freight train, moves like a ghost, and simply does not stop. The Bloodline was supposed to be unbreakable. That was the whole story. Family above all, blood before everything. But what we saw on April 24th proved that blood doesn't hold when ambition, pride, and power collide. This isn't a crack in the foundation anymore. This is the entire building coming down. And here's the thing that keeps me up at night. Jacob Fatu hasn't even begun to show us what he's truly capable of. Every time someone has counted him out, every time someone has told him to fall in line, every time someone has claimed he couldn't do it without help, he's answered. Every single time. Roman Reigns is next, and the Bloodline will never be the same.
If you're new to Ring Rumble, we genuinely appreciate every single person who finds this channel. It means more than you know. If you want to be part of this community, real wrestling fans who actually love this stuff, please consider subscribing. It would truly mean the world to us, and we promise to always bring you the content that matters. Hit that like button if Fatu just became your new favorite. Drop a comment telling us, can Jacob Fatu actually dethrone Roman Reigns? And share this video with a wrestling fan who needs to see this breakdown. The Bloodline Civil War is just getting started.